driving all the way for
Welcome back. I have my next guest, who is John Creedon. He is the owner of Corridor Commercial. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Carol.
Okay, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, because that's really important, and what you do.
Well, Carol, I am a commercial real estate broker. I'm considered a boutique commercial real estate broker. I work as my own broker. I'm a designated broker, and I assist local companies, regional companies, investors in site selection and acquiring and disposing of real estate here in Maricopa County.
Okay. Real estate, though, it's not residential.
Correct.
I want to
It's
get that out.
commercial real estate. Yeah, I predominantly do industrial, office, investments, and land.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Well, industrial properties are warehouses, manufacturing firms, flex office space located generally around airport areas and southwest distribution markets. But the office space, which we're in right now, Class A, B, and C office space throughout the valley, where mostly administrative type users are in. Investments are investors, whether individual or institutional, that are looking to acquire real estate that has an income stream on it, and they generally buy based upon a cap rate. And then land could be investment land or land to do something like a building on the property.
Well, we do have a lot of investors. You know, this is a financial station originally.
Yes.
Now we call it Independent Talk. So certainly there are a lot of investors that listen to this station. So they could actually, it would be one of the three. Am I correct? The industrial, office, and land.
Industrial, office, investment, land. Now, see, all three of those can have investors that are looking to purchase those assets, either to as a return, just like if you're putting money in the bank. They are in buying these properties that there's a tenant in the facility, or tenants, could be multi-tenant, and there's an underlying return that they have after they pay all their expenses. Others may be buying real estate that's vacant, and it might be value added, that they're looking to have a return based upon the value of the real estate over a certain period of time.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you, since you're here and you're talking about this,
Yeah.
Do you have any right now that you might want to tell them about, that there might be somebody listening that you might have something that they might want to invest in?
Oh, there's a lot of properties out there that are available. Well, I can talk about a property that I did recently sell that was kind of an interesting investment that was located in Southwest Phoenix that was vacant. We went on the market to sell the property to a user. We eventually found a tenant to lease the facility, and eventually it turned into an investment grade property. What happened in that situation is that we got a higher return for the property, being that we backfilled it with a tenant rather than selling it maybe to a user over a certain length of time, where the value of it increased because you had a tenant who was paying rent. And the cap rates right now are fairly aggressive, meaning that they're lower historically in the market. So you can maximize your building value having it tenanted with an income stream.
These kinds of things don't happen overnight.
They do not.
They don't. They take a while to do.
They do.
And so when somebody now, obviously they're investing through you, is what they're doing. That you have, do you do consultations with them, talk to them, show them what they're doing? What's the process of when, for somebody that's listening right now that might say, gosh, I'm interested in possibly doing something like that. What's the process then if somebody was to call you?
Well, I think that it always starts with the basic conversation about what their needs are and what they're looking for. And if it's realistic to find what they're looking for, whether they're looking to acquire a building to purchase or to lease. We do go through and analyze their needs and then go to the market and try to satisfy that need. Our typical cycle could be 60 or 90 days before, acquiring that property. It could take longer depending upon the complexity of the deal.
Sure. Now, do you do free consultations?
I do.
Absolutely. Yep. You got to do that. And your phone number is 602-469-3799. And the website is Corridor. So it's CORRIDOR. commercial.com. And that's predominantly in the Maricopa County. 25 years you've been doing this.
I have.
And when you're working with people, I want you to explain to them what the difference is between what is a boutique commercial real estate company?
Okay, well, there's institutional brokerage firms that generally have offices nationwide, and the brokerage brokerages usually work as on a team on the brokerages, the brokers that are within that office. As far as a boutique, it's usually an individual or a smaller office that the brokers generally work alone, and they work one-on-one with the client. Whereas in a larger firm, they may be on a team where they're not really dealing with the most experienced broker on that team at all times. They may be dealing with somebody that's a junior broker. And working with a boutique firm, you're actually working with the president, the owner of the company, the most experienced person on the team.
Right, 25 years of experience.
Yeah, it's a long
in
time.
your case,
Mhm.
which is a long time.
Yeah.
Are you a native from here or no? Because you have to, one thing about real estate, you want to know the area, and especially when
Yes.
it comes to commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I am an Arizona native and was born here.
Not many of them out there.
Not many. Born here in Phoenix. I lived throughout the state. Mostly grew up down in Tucson. Came up here after college in the middle '80s and started in the commercial real estate firm around 1990. So we're working on 26 years.
Sure.
And started out in a larger house, one of the institutional firms, and in 2000 started Corridor Commercial, and since then I've been working under that brand.
In the real estate world, it's we've been having a lot of craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Especially we had the crash, and I don't know if that affected both residential and commercial.
It did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you talk to real estate agents that do residential, you'll ask them, what's going on in the market today? So I'm going to ask you the same thing. I know though it's commercial,
Mm-hmm.
what is going on in the market today with commercial real estate?
Well, I think we're very lucky that we're in Phoenix, Arizona, in Maricopa County. I mean, it's a very active market. It's on the radar of a lot of institutions and private investors, and users. That the growth of Phoenix and satisfying all the needs that Phoenix has. The market, I think, is really healthy. I think as far as the cap rates and price per square foot on all forms of real estate are probably at historic highs or near historic highs. It seems like the inventory in industrial has reduced considerably, where we're seeing quite a bit of construction now in the market and having very good success at backfilling that real estate.
We also have a lot of people that they want to move their businesses here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's also a way that you can meet with people and talk with not just people from here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Am I correct?
No, I do work with companies. I recently did a deal with a company out of Denver
Right.
that relocated out
Right.
of Denver. I've worked with several companies from China that have come here that are internet-based and want a foothold in the United States. I've worked with companies out of California that are, not to, say anything negative about California.
You
but
can't. I'm from California.
I know, but there are some aspects about doing business in California that's a little bit more favorable in Arizona and less constraints.
Right.
That they feel like moving to Arizona offers all the things that they have in California and a better business climate.
Definitely. But also the land here, too. I think we have a little bit more, in spacious. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I think our civic leaders have done a very good job in building the freeway system here, and that's very helpful in the growth of Phoenix and getting around in Phoenix. There is quite a bit of land here, and the land values in comparison. I haven't sold land in California or a number of other markets, but I hear that the land values here are favorable,
Mm-hmm.
and we see activity quite a bit from users looking for sites as well.
So for people that are listening, it is interesting. It's very interesting because it's a whole nother side of the real estate industry. You know,
It's very exciting.
yeah. But again, what are your final words for today? That you would want to end them with someone like you.
Well, I would just say that it's really important that if you are considering acquiring real estate by lease or purchase, or disposing of property by lease or purchase, is to have a consultation with a broker, no matter who it is, that has experience. There are a lot of pitfalls and a lot of information that can help in the valuation of the real estate and making sure that that you're making the best economic decision.
Well, if you're interested in something like this, he'll do a free consultation with you. His phone number, he's been doing this for 25 years, over 25 years. It's 602-469-3799. It's CorridorCommercial.com. Freeze it, shrink